to Umineko again. You know what? You might wanna. Alright, looks like it's starting without any dropped frames, so that's good. Hooray! I almost can't be bothered to go back and social media post again to tell everyone, hey, I'm doing Umineko again, but I'm Uminekoing. Umineko, OBS. Also, let me double check the Twitch itself, which I have there, which is Stream Manager. Make sure that's all looks like it's all fine. Yep, that's all fine. Okay, great. Cool. Everything seems good then. And regardless of when people are here right now, live or not, I guess I'll get started. So, hi guys, it's me again. We're back for doing some more Uminekoing. Uminekoing. I'm just making up words at this point because fucking this game story. I don't even, like you think you've gotten to the end of the, I don't know what you call it, the tip of the iceberg, and then it's like, hey, um, here's like 5 million other kinds of things to think about while you're playing this game, reading this narrative. I'm eating dry cranberries. Otherwise, I'm gonna be starving when it comes time for lunch. So yeah, welcome back to Umineko. Last time, yeah, we started episode 5. So the synopsis of episode 5 so far seems to be Beatrice has basically given up, and essentially Battler is trying to kill her, but like kill her mercifully and not have it a slow, torturous, painful death. Um, and that's can't really he can't seem to really do that at the moment because the other witches are still kind of controlling her and making sure the game keeps going on, and she can't actually lose. So in the meantime, while she's kind of out of commission, they decided they're just going to play the game on their own, and then Battler's like, you know what, okay, fine, I'm going to come in and help and see if I can figure something out and figure out how to essentially, put Beatrice out of her misery by looking into the game. So, meanwhile, in the game, in the murder mystery part, the new thing about this timeline is that in this timeline, Shinzo actually did die. Like, in fact, over a year before the family conference even happened, and the kind of like the which was a theory that people had, the other siblings were floating around this whole time. And essentially, what happened was through the power of basically the Natsuhi decided that the best way to deal with this issue is by having everybody pretend that he never died and just kind of putting on this big false illusion that he has been still around and he's not dead. And because magic is the power of self-delusion, this meant that she used magic to bring him back to life. Um, and I think when we last left off, I think the family conference hadn't started yet properly, or like it had just started, and then Natsuhi got a phone call from somebody who claimed to be her son, who had like done, and Natsuhi, he's like coming for revenge basically. What that means, I have absolutely no fucking idea. I also looked through the Steam achievements, like the whatever the not the achievements, the like the card things that you get by like starting to play the game, and like there's a shit ton of characters I have never even seen before. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen at this point. Clearly, I've only scraped the surface of this, which makes sense because I've only gone through half of the game. So let's keep going. Yeah, it must be 6:28 p.m. Yeah, that must be my most recent save. Riders all among the roses, and, you know. Shame about Ange, though. I hear her stomach gets upset easily, right? Apparently. It's probably her intestines that are weak. She's almost always got the runs. Oh, she got IBS or something. Yeah, you shouldn't say something like that around a lady. Sorry about that. Yeah, I forgot. Nothing comes out of a girl's butt but marshmallows, right? So Ange got sick and the marshmallows turned into syrup. Oh, God. Ah. Madam, Krausama is searching for you. I'll go in just a bit. It isn't even lunchtime yet and I'm already tired. Okay, yeah, okay, wait, no. There are no problems with father, right? Correct. Leave it to me. Shannon and Cannon are also fully prepared to handle Teray's arrangements. Kumasawa's a good liar, so I'm not worried about her. But I am a little concerned about Dr. Nanjo. I get the feeling he's bad at hiding things. Leave that to me. I intend to support Dr. Nanjo from nearby as much as possible. So reassuring to have you there. It truly does help a lot. Without your strength, we wouldn't be able to succeed. I am honored by your words. Don't worry, the closed room barrier on the study is perfect. As long as the barrier remains unbroken, no one will be able to expose Kinzo's secret. Yes, I understand. So, you heard that conversation in the parlor just now, didn't you? Indeed. It seems that some considerable suspicions were aroused last year. The terrible toxin has accumulated and is being spread all around. It seems this year's conference really will be crucial. We might be able to overcome this year somehow, but there is such thing as pushing our luck. It's probably best to assume that next year won't be manageable. Oh, hi, Renove. Just much of the magic-resisting toxin filling up such the place. It will probably be difficult to preserve Lord Goldsmith's magic for yet another family conference. Who are you? Oh, no need to be surprised. This man serves as my head furniture. Greetings, Madam Natsuhi. My name is Renove. It is a pleasure to meet you. This man's reliable. He's also helping to protect the closed room barrier. Is that so? I am Ushiromiya Natsuhi. I thank you for your cooperation. Of course, madam. I will be aiding you from the magic world. Please rely on me. Oh god, Garp's here too? In that case, I'll introduce myself next. Hi, Richie. Long time no see. Ah, Garp. I'm glad to see you're here as well. Anyway. Remember that headache medicine you dropped on the floor of your room and lost as you were getting dressed? Garp was the one behind that. Whenever you said something small somewhere and down somewhere and can't find it later, it's always a good idea to suspect it's one of her pranks. I mean, if you believe it, then she'll be real. Ungo used to tease me all the time. This happens every time. Feels like we won't get anywhere until the next day. Hmm? Well, sure, October 4th is like a prep time for me. If you don't feel like doing anything, why don't you just sit around until October 5th? I'll call you after the first 6 die. Did you know? They say that in chess, the player who moves first is twice as likely to win. Although that can change as the tactics of the match progress. Did they say the second player has a much better chance at a draw? Even I know the phrase, the first strike wins. So, what are you trying to say? This is why you're so incompetent. Seriously, are you listening, Battler? There do exist puzzles that can be solved even on October 4th. Know which one I mean? You don't mean... No, but... Well, watch and see, Battler the incompetent. That's right. The reason it exists. Why did Beto pair a puzzle like this in the first place? We all discuss it together from time to time in past games. However, I started to avoid thinking about it, under the assumption there's no point in trying to solve a riddle that can't be solved. This time I should change my viewpoint. I shouldn't just focus on the surface level stuff, like the truth of the riddle or how to solve it. What's more important is why that riddle was set up in the first place and displayed for us to see. Okay, you're talking about the epitaph and stuff? That's what I should be thinking about. And the one proposing that riddle is Beatrice. Even if I can't solve it, I should be able to try figure out what Beto was thinking when she showed it to us. I mean, yeah, it's funny because I actually don't know how it's pronounced. Eva's solved it in another timeline, so it can be solved. We know that's possible. Okay, this time I'm spinning the chessboard around. The witches keep calling me incompetent. Let them laugh. They aren't my enemies. I'm continuing our match, Beto. Oh, looks like it's finally started raining. Now we have nowhere to run until the family conference ends. Same thing goes for Nissan. I won't let them escape, you can be sure of that. I think if I was better at voice acting, I feel like I'd be able to give everybody a more distinctive voice, but, you know. I think my posh lady voice just ends up being used for, like, everybody. Except for, Kyrie kind of gets the, cool woman voice. Like, I guess the thing with, like, Eva, for example, like, you could kind of just make her sound like really kind of vicious and cruel, because she does sound vicious and cruel all the time. But I don't know if, like, that's the stereotype they want your first impression of her to actually be, or if she's supposed to always be from the start to be more nuanced about than that. You know? I guess it'll be interesting if I ever watch, like, the anime, whatever the anime of this actually is. Now see, Hideyoshi's easy because he's got an accent. Oh, Rosa would be hard to voice act as well, considering that, she has to do a lot of the child abuse shit. Oh. It's not Beatrice this time. You are not alone. Something different this time. Oh shit. That's a good achievement drop. Yeah, the Umineko anime is pretty bad, unfortunately. Okay. I mean, I think, yeah, even just trying to turn this into an anime, I can imagine 5 million gajillion issues that you would have to deal with, so. Krausama, madame, I was looking for you. Something important has come up. What is it? Must be something more urgent than a few sheets getting soaked in the rain. What is it? A short while ago, someone arrived at the mansion, claiming to have drifted here after an accident at sea. Okay, this is probably that the person who was on the phone. Tanatahi. Genji, is this drifter a man? No. She is a young woman about the same age as Milady. Apparently, oh yeah, apparently Umineko anime was made before the answer arcs came up, so the foreshadowing for the mystery is booked up. Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, having a mystery story, and then you making the anime adaptation before the story is actually finished, just sounds like a terrible idea. Yeah, I definitely not going to watch it until I watch all of them because, I don't want to accidentally get spoiled on the future things because they put the foreshadowing in early. Because I think somebody mentioned that, like, it kind of ruins some of the mystery. That kind of tells you some of the mystery things that get revealed much later on, like pretty early on, and then it's like, okay, interesting. A woman. I see. Very well. Back to your work. Okay, so it's not the person who was calling, what wasn't the person who called Natsuhi with the threatening threatening phone call. Well, if she was able to walk all the way to Rose. Oh wait, it's probably just Bernie. Because I mean, Bernie does show up, right? Would anyone like some tea? Goto-san, how's that kid doing? Does it look like she's okay? Well, I don't know about that. There is no need to worry. Dr. Nanjo is giving his full attention to taking care of her, and Kumasawa and Chanon are with him. Please, have no fears. I want to serve tea too. Both really are scary. Full. Butler was right. Maria-chan, let's not tell Butler about this. Same here. Didn't Mom always tell us to be nice to girls? Maybe, but you didn't need to make that your life's motto. It's probably best if we call George and the rest over here too. Let's all greet out together. It's Genji. The guest has arrived. Alright, who is it? Bernie or a new character? Let's see. Okay, yeah, it's Bernie. I mean, I guess maybe it's not Bernie, but I mean, she's got the same hair color. So it's probably Bernie. Also, new music. Furudo-sama, allow me to introduce you. This is the representative of the Ushiromiya family head, Ushiromiya Kraus. Welcome to Rokonjima. Though you arrived due to an accident, you are a guest of the family. We welcome you. Please make yourself at home and relax however you please. Thank you very much. Allow me to introduce myself. I am called Furudo Erika. I wonder if this is some kind of pun. Is it a pun? I don't know. Let's check the profiles. Here we go. Furudo Hang on. I just realized. Wait. Has there always been room for one more person in the profile section? Or am I just going crazy? Because they sure managed to get her to fit without having to do anything, Or was this where Beatrice used to be? I don't know. Fell from the pleasure boat Eternal Maiden 2 mid-cruise in the waters near Rokonjima. On October 4, In 1986, she arrived to Rokujima, and the Ushirome family welcomed her as a guest. She managed to drift to the island unharmed thanks to several miracles, including the fact that she was wearing a life jacket. Like, it could not be Bernie, but like, same hair color, miracles. She did say she was going to be participating in this game, etc., etc. Yeah, she participates as a player in opposition to Beto, so it's probably Bernie. Maybe I'm just overthinking things. I don't know. Wait. I just realized Erica's there in that as well. Here we go. Okay, there you go. You have the answers right there. So, jeez, I'm very stupid. Bern Castell's double and servant, also a piece who is manifested in the human world. Because she is human, she cannot use magic and the like. However, she can appeal to Bern Castell on a higher level plane to obtain miracles and various authority she can use. So it would probably be no exaggeration to call her a human capable of wielding the power of a witch. Through Bern Castell, she has been given the detective's authority while on the game board. What's the next? Here we go. Therefore, even though she is an outsider to the Ichiromiya family, she possesses the right to demand full attention from everyone when speaking, the right to advance proceedings, the right to investigate the crime scene before the police arrive, and many other special abilities. She gets pleasure from the process of solving riddles, but her greatest joy comes from using that victory to sneer at others. Okay, so she's an asshole. Got it. She's an asshole detective. Anyway, don't worry, I don't think you really missed much. We're just getting introduced to, the version of Bernie that we saw is in episode 4. So basically, it's like her like avatar. Basically, she shows up at a shipwreck, and now she's like, oh hey, now I'm in the conference too. Yeah, basically. I'm not sure whether her name is some kind of pun on like. What's the character from Higurashi? You know, I'm not sure if it feels like it's probably some kind of pun. Anyway, this is Erica. My deepest apologies for disturbing you members of the Ichiromiya family like this. I'm truly grateful for the warm welcome I've received despite my status as an uninvited guest. I don't know. I haven't played Higurashi Robin. I don't know, so I don't know what the character's name was in Higurashi. It's just the girl with the blue hair. Wait a sec. Who the heck is this? With an incompetent like you as the main character piece, the game wouldn't go anywhere. That's why I've placed myself there as a piece. Well, it's just a bit of a bonus. Even in a closed circle, it'd be boring to see the same crew every time, right? Okay, fucking fourth wall. Quit messing around. This piece doesn't exist on Beto's game board. Okay, there you go. Furude Rika. There you go. Then no fucking wonder. It's like she just added an extra like syllable to her name, and that's it. Furude Rika and Furuda Erika. So yeah, clearly. Now I'm gonna remember who the character is. Beto refuses, then I'll consider it. What do you say, Beto? Wanna try complaining about the rules and stepping down from the game? Isn't that a favorite move of your mystery people? If there's even a tiny element that goes against your expectations, you throw a tantrum and totally stop thinking. Don't worry, I'll make a detective proclamation regarding this piece. A detective proclamation? I proclaim that Furudo Erika is the detective. So what the hell is Battler gonna do in this timeline then? The detective isn't a culprit. No proof is needed to show this. In short, there is absolutely no need to suspect this girl. Even if she appears as a human piece from now on, you can build theories the same as you always did. Get it? That's Nox's 7th, right? It is forbidden for the detective to be the culprit. There was an exception clause in the original, but for this game, the detective isn't a culprit, has been proclaimed in red, so you don't need to consider the exception. I hate word games, so I'll say this in red too. Furudo Erika is not the culprit. Repeat it. Furudo Erika had no influence on Beto's games before now. Sure, no problem. She's nothing more than an extra character who appears for the first time this round. She does not exist in the worlds before this one, nor does she influence them. So what does that do to the number of people in this island right now? Of course, it's +1 from the previous number. Don't worry. Furudo Erika only increases it by 1 person. Yep. Isn't that convenient? This way the number of people is clear. People in the guest house have joined up with the rest, and now all the pieces, except for Kinzo, all of the humans, have gathered in the parlor. Looks like it! In other words, the number of people in this parlor now is equal to the total number of people on this island. There were supposedly 18 people on the island, but since Grandfather's actually dead, that became 17. And now 1 piece of burn castels has been added. The number of the humans is returned to 18. It says everyone, the true number of people on the island at the moment. Well, all of us are Ishiramias. Please don't feel obligated to call us by our family name. I'm George, and I'm Butler. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much, George-san, Butler-san. I'd be pleased if you could call me Erika. Nice to meet you, Erika-san. Hello. It's foolish to play on a boat with such a bad weather forecast. I mean, she is an agent of the conspiracy, yes. Natsuhi is right. But, you know, it's like several layers of meta weird shit beyond you, Natsuhi. Unfortunately, if you try to understand, your head might explode. I won't let her anywhere near the family conference. After dinner, I assume she retires to the guest house. Make sure they don't start trying to force us to let her meet father or anything like that. Of course, I will keep that in mind. Oh, Furudo Erika, was it? Rare for guests to come here to Rokkenjima. Doesn't this look like it'll be interesting? She's probably Lady Byrne Castell's piece. Though she will follow the rules of humans, the player is a witch. We mustn't underestimate her. There is no problem. Even if she were Lady Byrne Castell herself, since she's a human, she's no match for us. After all, we have Garp with us. Humans certainly cannot win against Garp. Thanks. Still, it's not a good idea to overestimate yourself. The definition of a witch doesn't only imply the ability to use magic. True. A joker in the eye of a typhoon. That is what a witch is. Oh, okay, whatever that means. I'm the only one who gets to call herself a witch on this Rokkenjima. Only I, the Golden Witch and Endless Witch, Beatrice. Let's see how good Lady Byrne Castell's next piece after Orange is. I intend to watch very closely. Alright, it's still okay. We haven't gone to midnight yet, so the game hasn't started. Well, the game started, but you know, the murders haven't started. I just forgot. Is he supposed to be called Gouda like the cheese? Is that like, is it like a silly pun for Gouda as well? I can't remember. Gouda is a kind of cheese, right? I'm not going crazy, right? Twin tails are very cute. Was Rika also like a bit of a princess kind of character? Ojo-san? You just have to start from the outside and work your way in. If that's a pain, then just ask for some chopsticks. If you're Japanese, you've got to love chopsticks. Chopsticks are so great. Just one pair of those and you can deal with any kind of food. Okay, okay. I, I'm sure there's going to be lots of Higurashi references that are just going to completely fly over my head at this point, aren't they? What's the sprite look like? But even you would use a spoon for curry and rice, wouldn't you? Just make it a donburi bowl. Is there anyone who eats beef bowls with a spoon? Of course not. For the Japanese, it's absolutely, positively, totally chopsticks. So Goda-san, would you mind bringing me some chopsticks? I want to show everyone how a true Japanese person should eat without any shame. By the way, what are we eating next? Fortunately, that would be soup. Oh, poor Jessica. Jessica, you're being replaced by Rika from Higurashi. I get the feeling my reputation's taking a dive. I want to see table manners. Who is that? Oh, here we go. Oh, that is the Golden Witch Beatrice, Summer. The Golden Witch. What are you doing, brats? So then, wait, who was the person who interrupted? Wait, hang on. But that means, okay, so because Erica showed up, then nobody is going to mention about is gonna interrogate Maria on how she got when who lent her the umbrella and got her out of the rose garden, which means she's not going to go and give everybody the letter from Beatrice, which means what the hell's going to happen, I guess, is the question. It really is a fascinating riddle. He stuck it out in a place where anyone could see it, challenging our intelligence. I love that kind of challenge. Whoa, you seem surprisingly interested, Erica-chan. Do you like solving riddles or something? Don't challenges like this seem interesting? It seems pretty clear that Kinzo-san wants to use that epitaph to choose his successor. It's fairly common for an extremely rich person to relinquish his or her wealth to the solver of some sort of riddle. Furthermore, Kinzo-san didn't publish this epitaph in a newspaper, but displayed it in his mansion. That means the riddle is directed at the people in this mansion. Okay, if you guys don't get your shit together, I might steal all the gold away from you. Oh. Good. Well thought. Just by the simple fact the epitaph's inside the mansion, it's possible to figure that much out. When this was declared by a complete outsider, those words seemed even more credible. Yeah. The Sengoku Commander Hideyoshi admired Toyotomi Hideyoshi, made his son-in-law Hidetsugu commit seppuku, but it was rumored he might have done this to make Hideyori, who was his real son and born after Hidetsugu, his true heir. Yeah, I've heard this story. Why do I know? Oh yeah, I was like, why do I know about why do I know so much about Hideyoshi Toyotomi? But it's because they also did an FGO story about them. Also, I went to Osaka Castle when I was there, so in Japan. I love this story because, like, you could argue it does do a lot of explaining the total obvious, but it's like, it's almost like it feels like it's analyzing its own text, right? Sort of say, like, hey, this is what words mean. These are what sentences mean. These are what plot points mean. And I think that's kind of cool. It's not necessarily, like, it can potentially get a bit annoying. Like, it could almost be like that they're almost like tooting their own horn, trying to, like, you know, sort of make their own writing look better than it actually is, or like could be like, look, guys, like kind of bragging about how good their writing is. But I enjoy it because it's all like it's really they clearly want to communicate everything about the story to the audience and not just kind of let it be lost in, you know, spectacle and whatever. That's what the hell? How do you call that reasoning? That's bullshit. It's screwed up. Okay, take it easy, Jessica. And Erica, let's leave it at that for now. The Golden Land isn't just for just gold. It's a sacred place. So, Erica-chan, would you like to have a go with the epitaph's riddle? Yes. My little grey cells are itching to get started. I'd like to start solving as soon as possible. I like it. Well, since Erica seems so interested, let's all try and solve it together, just like last year. I'll make some coffee. Raise your hand if you want some. Not for you, Maria. You won't be able to sleep. I want to drink black coffee. Don't they get you excited? Riddles like this? I loved them. See, without even waiting for the crime on October 5th, there's a riddle you can solve. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, Battler was saying about that he was implying that's what we're talking about. I've tried to solve it many times myself, but you didn't have a clue, so you gave up and stopped thinking, right? Pissed me off, but I don't have a good counter for that. After all, I don't get the epitaph at all. I don't even know what the beloved hometown means, much less the parts about the Sweet Fish River and the key. Thinking that a few more hints would show up if I waited. I kept on waiting and just stopped thinking. Just like cards. Have you figured out an answer of your own? I mean, I don't, you know, it's not necessarily a JoJo reference, but like, because the internet, if anybody says it and they stopped thinking, it's just a JoJo reference. Have you figured out an answer on your own? Because I'm about to solve it. What? This is where Ben solved the riddle of the epitaph. I'd expect no less from the Witch of Miracles. If a riddle is solvable, she can solve it without fail, regardless of the difficulty. How many years did it take to solve this one? That's rude. I only fished through a few hundred. Oh god, I only fished through a few hundred fragments. Oh my goodness. So she's just basically like us on steroids. She's like, oh, I've played Umineko 500 times, so like I've managed to find a whole bunch of clues. Although really, you could have just figured it out if you just had a chance to observe like episode 2 or 3. I don't know. The episode where Ava solved it. If you just followed Ava, you could have figured out the whole thing. You're not gonna cheat by suddenly saying the answer in red or something like that, right? Don't worry. Just like you, I follow the rules as a player. Well, shall we begin? It's cramped here. Why don't we talk over the sea? Okay. Don't get queasy, Battler. What do you mean, the sea? Huh? I don't think this is the sea. This is the mysterious black void. Yeah, yeah. I see. So this is the space between universes. Got it. Didn't you tell you not to get queasy? If you want a concept of gravity, just create it yourself, okay? Come on, calm down and look at us. Come on, don't we look like we're just fine? Believe that your feet are on the ground and that you're being controlled by gravity. If you do that, you'll find your equilibrium. Whoa. Very good, very good. What's your name? You sure me a battler? Who else do I look like? Epitaph Riddle uses a lot of Japanese wordplay, if I remember correctly, so English players are out of luck on that front, sadly. Oh, you know what? That makes sense. I mean, I'm sure when they explain it, maybe the translation is going to kind of explain some of the Japanese wordplay in it. I mean, after all, they have no problem with like randomly showing the characters Japanese names when they first introduce themselves. So, okay, you mustn't lose your will, emotions, or form. After all, this is the ocean. If you lose your purpose, you'll fall into the depths of eternity and become a scrap of ocean seaweed. Be careful. Now, I do wonder, if we solve the epitaph, does that mean that this plot point will be resolved for future games forever? Or, I'm very curious because obviously I've been waiting months to figure out what the hell this actually means, right? Then let's begin. I'll weave together some fragments for solving the riddle of the epitaph. This is so treaty bullshit, huh? This is the power you get after, like, going through infinite numbers of murder mysteries and everybody going crazy and trying to kill you and stuff. Now, this is what you get when you beat when you beat Higurashi. You become a multiverse traveler. Ooh, whoa, 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 whoa. They aren't memories. They're fragments of worlds. Well, I guess they might feel like memories to you. Then let's begin. Let's start with this fragment. Yeah, okay, I was gonna say. Yeah, I remember, cause yeah, like I thought this is the one that, this is the timeline where Eva solved it. The beloved hometown definitely won't betray our expectations. The only past father held dear happened during his childhood years. I remember that. This is from the third game when Aunt Eva was just about to solve the riddle of the epitaph and was thinking it over with this witch inside her or whatever. That's right. Everybody, now come on, we've got to go and remember the previous episodes and let's get all the pieces together and actually figure this out. And from these thoughts, she made her way to the correct answer. In other words, this fragment shows a vital hint for reaching the truth. It means that this theory is not mistaken. So you're saying we should assume this beloved hometown isn't a metaphor or anything like that, but the place grandfather actually spent his youth. That's right. And at the very least, it isn't Odawara. Odawara is definitely where he was born, but I don't think that's the hometown he loved. I imagine all of our siblings have the same place in mind. Right. This probably isn't Odawara. From what I've heard, he had a very fun time as a youth. That's right. Aunt Eva and the siblings said it wasn't Odawara, and not only that, it looks like everyone guessed where grandfather's hometown was. Right. And annoyingly, the actual location isn't spoken of in any of the fragments because reasons. I just can't see it because they clearly mention it at some point, but they just don't say it out loud in any of the timelines that I find because of reasons. Well, duh. If I told you that, there'd be too many hints. If it wasn't a hard riddle, there'd be no point to it. Uh-oh. It's a hint too. Hee hee hee. Interesting. Just where is his hometown of grandfather's? You can't even start if you don't know that. You mean you couldn't start, so you stopped thinking? It's that to be a place where he could have lived, the number of possibilities is limitless. Those are the toughest parts. You were the witch who could certainly solve any riddle that could be solved, weren't you? So you took those limited possibilities, In other words, everywhere on the Earth and considered every single piece of land that grandfather might have lived on? That would work too, but that way no amount of time would be enough. So I needed to take some more hints into consideration to wring out the answer. Didn't you say it yourself? You said it didn't have to be a river with water flowing down it. If the word sweetfish is too complicated, why not forget it? Think of a river. A river. Linking it with a family tree wasn't a bad idea. Try thinking about how to link a river with something else along those lines. It's probably something that makes more sense in Japanese. A sweetfish river running through the hometown. However, this river isn't truly a river. You ever thought of something else, something that could be linked with a river? Sure, but if it isn't a river, then why the sweetfish? Think. A river that runs through the hometown. It isn't a river with water running down it. Something that can be likened to a river. Behold the sweetfish river running through the beloved hometown. Eva knew where the hometown was, so she could forget about the sweetfish hint. However, since we don't know where it is, this could be a hint for us. I worried too much about the sweetfish river. The sweetfish part didn't really matter that much at all, did it? That isn't true. It was an excellent hint, wasn't it? Well, of course, maybe there was no need for it to be sweetfish. It's basically, remember all that shit in episode 3 and they didn't explain it? I'm going to explain it. This is why these are the answers arcs. What are these sweetfish? The river is yep. Sweetfish, yep. On top of that, Rose is tough to decide, taking sweetfish for insignificant. Sweetfish is a key to make you think of something else. If that something is a different word, but a word that sweetfish makes you think of, then yeah. This theory was something that could be verified through some kind of book. It's like solving a mystery for absolute dumbasses, but like, I enjoy this because I don't remember everything that happened in episode 3. That was months ago. Good thinking. The epitaph continues on, saying, as you travel down the river, you will see a village. At that point in time, Eva yet hadn't solved the 3 lines starting with this one. So, figure out what the Sweetfish River running through the hometown is. That leads us directly to understanding that as you travel down the river, you'll see a village stuff, and then we get to hear the Golden Land. Correct. And we know it because Ava didn't know what the village meant until she checked the book. Damn it. Just what is this book? This isn't 6 characters at all. I'm absolutely sure the way you could read it with 6 characters. Then Eva found the key to the Golden Land. Yeah, and this key was some kind of word or number or string of characters, 6 characters long. That's it. If we know the key's true identity is 6 characters, the meaning of the first Twilight changes drastically. In the first Twilight, offer the 6 chosen by the key as sacrifices. Like the letters? 6 chosen by the key. 6 characters! Sacrifice the 6 characters chosen by the key on the first Twilight. This key indicates a certain group of 6 people. No, we should say it indicates a certain group of 6 things, if it doesn't mean a literal command to offer sacrifices. It would be an anagram. It's curious that I'd been thinking that way ever since that moment. On the second Twilight, there are those who remain, which means that at the very least that something has a limited number of characters. You could read it like it's telling you continue with the remaining characters after the first 6 characters are removed. Okay, yeah, this sounds like this is definitely some Japanese wordplay bullshit. In other words, on the first Twilight, we take a list of characters that's longer than 6, kill the 6 that are the key, then do something with the characters that remain. That's right. What should we kill the characters from? We don't know this longer string of characters, yep. In other words, by the time we reach the first Twilight, some string of characters already exists. Might be a set of Japanese characters, but knowing grandfather's taste, could it be something in English? Yeah, even I can understand that. The first Twilight has more than 6 characters, even though the Japanese phrase just has 4. Yeah, the first Twilight has a lot of characters. That idea of yours isn't bad, Battler-san. We can interpret the 6 sacrifices chosen by the key as a string of 6 characters. I think it's a very clever concept. That way, the key doesn't necessarily have to be key-shaped. I have also considered the possibility that it's an anagram. Come to think of it, you did say something like that before. In that case, where do you take the 6 characters out from? We need to read this. Hang on, am I gonna do the thing? I want to do the thing. Let me do the thing. How do you transliterate that? I just know there is a no and a accented vowel. But I can't read kanji. Even if I read Japanese, I can't read kanji. So what does that mean? Is that a dai? No, it's not. Daiichi no Bun? Is that it? Is that what it is? Hang on, you know what? Actually, let me do the other thing. Yeah, that's where. Okay, let's do it like this. It's easier this way, I think. Yeah, the first night is what they call it. So yeah, it's okay. So it's Daiichi no Bun is what it was is what the first Twilight means is what it says in Japanese. Daiichi no Bun. Right, I guess that's Dai, and then there's like elongated. No, sorry. Oh, that's a right Ichi because it's like one, and that's why just one line. So it's like Daiichi no Bun, and then I guess Bun means night or something. No, yeah, must be. I think. I'm being a fucking weeb in real time. I love playing this game. If we follow Father's sensibilities, I guess it probably is English after all. It looks like we're getting stuck. Why don't we move on to the second Twilight and look for hints? Those who remain shall tear apart the two who are close. Oh, like close. Okay, so it's like the two who are close, like the two letters that are close to each other or whatever, right? Like you take out the 6 characters, and then there's 2 characters that are left that are next to each other, and then there's some others that are just somewhere else. And so you take those 2, and then take those 2, tear them apart. Like what? Do you take those letters and you put it in the middle? If so, I'm feeling like I'm smart, even though I'm just doing this, understanding the world's most basic explanation of things. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So the 4 and the 5 are close, right? Yeah. Wow, 4 and 5 are close. Yeah, I get it. So the 2 who are close are 4 and 5. There's a gap between 2 and 4, but 4 and 5 are right next to each other. They're the 2 who are close. Good. Well done, Butler-san. We can't tell whether tear apart means crush 4 or 5, or to put a gap between them, but I think that's a good observation. And what do you think about the third Twilight? Those who remain shall praise my noble name. Since there's a good chance that we're playing with letters, this might be the same thing. The characters that remain shall praise my noble name. It's tough. What could it mean? Does anyone know? I think I do. Huh? What is it? Tell me. Is this also an anagram? Once again, good. Butler-san, you're a pretty flexible thinker. What anagram are you playing with? Yeah. Means, in other words, maybe you can make some kind of word by changing the order of the remaining letters. Yeah. If so, I might be getting ahead of myself with this theory, but maybe the original list of characters the first Twilight moved from is 11 characters long. Well done again! I reached the same conclusion. Why is that? You think killing a single sacrifice means crushing a single character? If we interpret the terror part of the second Twilight to mean adding a gap between two characters, there are 11 characters total. Hang on. 6, but then there's 6, and then there's 2 remaining at least. Or 3 remaining at least. So then there's 9, but then what's the 11? If terror part means to crush those 2 characters, we can assume there are 13 characters. Why are the numbers? What are numbers? What are letters? What is reality? Listen, I like that I like that it's making us go through this though. It's fun. From the 4th Twilight to the 8th Twilight, the word kill appears 5 times. And then on the 9th Twilight, it's written that none will be left alive. If we ignore the part about the witch reviving for now, I figured after crushing the first 6, separating the characters that are close, and then crushing 5 more of them, there should be no characters left. So that made 6 plus 5, or 11 characters. If tearing apart 2 who are close in the second Twilight means to kill both of them, that makes 6 plus 2 plus 5, or 13. The chance the word symbolizing the first Twilight has 11 or 13 characters. Wait, it couldn't be that easy, could it? Wonderfully done. That's the exact same theory I thought of. It looks like you were gifted with excellent little grey cells just like me, Battler-san. Hey, quit it. Just doing what comes naturally. Hey, what the hell? Peace-Me is pretty damn smart. There's no room left for me to make theories. Oh, sorry about that. You weren't around at this point, so I just controlled your piece for you. Excuse me, what the fuck? Isn't it nice how smart I made you look? Oh yeah, because it's true, he wasn't actually around for any of this, it's true, because they were like, oh, you know, we've almost finished, and Battle's like, wait, let me come in, so. You look smarter when Burn's playing you. Why not step down as the player and concentrate on being a piece instead? Yeah, exactly. Okay. So I guess it means it's possible for Burn Castle's reasoning to be announced through my mouth. The game I'm watching now is nothing more than a replay of a part that's already ended. After all, this Burn Castell Summer's going out of her way to solve the epitaph for me. I'll watch closely for now, and I'll try to find out what it means. Lambda Delta let it slip just a second ago. Yeah, I heard that part too. If it wasn't a hard riddle, there'd be no point to it. He was probably alive at the time the epitaph was displayed. Of course, grandfather was already dead by 1986. And in the games up until now, Beatrice threatened us repeatedly with letters saying the only way to survive was to solve the epitaph, and trying to force us to solve the riddle. In other words, it was Beatrice's intention, her hope, that we would try solving the riddle of the epitaph. The epitaph's so confusing that in most cases, the relatives never seriously tried solving it until the threatening letters started to arrive. Yep. Why is Beatrice carrying out my grandfather's will after his death? With the theory proposed in the first game, is Beatrice really grandfather's confidant, who's following his orders even after his death and trying to select the successor with the riddle? If she did that, it would mean that, yep. Yep. And if that human didn't appear within a set time limit, would that be game over? Certainly Aunt Eva, who solved the riddle in the third game, became the only survivor and automatically the final head of the Ushiromiya family, inheriting everything. Up until now, no one has ever survived past October 5th, except Aunt Eva, the one who solved the epitaph. That was the only case where Beatrice let anyone survive. Is Beatrice's loyalty to grandfather the thing that drove her? Was she so loyal she faithfully carried out some terrible order to kill everyone if the epitaph wasn't solved? I must not stop thinking. Don't stop thinking. Don't just think of the riddle itself. Think about why it's significant. Why is Beatrice telling us to solve the epitaph? Why is she making us solve such a confusing epitaph? If Beatrice makes us try and solve this epitaph, we have no real chance of solving. And by some lucky chance, a miracle occurs and someone is able to solve it. What significance would that have to her? Is it being like somebody has witch powers because she's able to solve a miracle? Make a miracle to do something that can't be done? Or I don't know what such a miracle would be worth to Vito. Anyway, until we figure out the first Twilight, we'll have to get up on the rest. I'm going upstairs with Maria. We'll watch TV or something. Okay, I'll go up too. Figure out the list of characters amongst the Twilight. I bet the road before me will open up all at once. First Twilight. First Twilight. Aunt Rosa, have you thought of some list of characters or a word? No, I don't have a clue. But instead of the first Twilight, it's the 10th Twilight that bugs me. The 10th Twilight. What about it? Well, at the end here, it says you'll receive the Golden Land's 4 treasures once and for the last time, right? Yeah, it does. I mentioned that you're reaching the Golden Land just once and then say it's for the last time. It's almost as though he's repeating the same thing twice. I've just been wondering whether he had some reason for putting it like that. You're right. Like you said, it's gotta be a more straightforward way of saying that, yep. Still, you and that Erica-chan girl are incredible. Your minds really are flexible. I'm already an old lady, my brain just doesn't work that fast. That theory about the 6 chosen by this key signifying 6 characters to be removed was very impressive. After hearing that, I can't see it as being any other way. Before then, I didn't think it was like that at all. I'm feeling let down by my old dull mind. It's not true. You've got a flexible mind yourself, Aunt Rosa. I mean, you figured it out in the epitaph as well. Yeah. This last time, you got killed by a witch afterwards, but you did it. This last time thing might really be important. Yep. After all, in the line before the first Twilight, it says you must travel to the Golden Land, right? It's a journey. So I thought the first Twilight would be part of the way through that journey. Journey, I see. Then the journey begins, and when you set up camp at the first Twilight, you offer the 6 as sacrifice. So where would that place be? How many kilometers from the starting point? Please don't tell anyone about your aunt's silly ideas, okay? And at first I that part about attaining to the treasures of the Golden Land, I just assumed it was more of the same. Typically, attaining treasures would mean obtaining them, but I thought it meant reaching or arriving at some place. Some place 10 days away from Father's hometown where all these treasures might be found. Are you kidding? That's a brilliant idea. And the first Twilight is the first stop to that 10-day journey. The name of that place might be the key to moving forward. For my 10-day theory to work, you'd have to know both the start point and the end point. I know the start point. I know the hometown Father loved. The place Father spent his time when he was a boy really is far away. The problem is the goal, the Golden Land. What does that really mean? If we don't know that, my theory gets us nowhere. I've been stuck at this spot for a long time, but after listening to your reasoning today, this is one embarrassing mistake I've been making. No, I think that's still an interesting idea. Start and a goal, a 10-day journey, and a place reached at the very first Twilight. Believe it or not, I think you might solve this one easily, Batlican. If you do solve it with your aunt's hint, share some of it with me. Even 5% would be great. It's a promise. I was just like, is anyone even going to die at this point? But no, I remember I did briefly look at the situation but we got a little glimpse of like where the game ended off, and people have died. They got like their throats slit and stuff. Uh-oh. So it's a book you're searching for. Not necessarily a book, but materials, I guess you could say. There's something I've just got to look up. You're looking for something to do with the epitaph's riddle? Pretty impressive that you haven't given up yet. It's the 20 billion yen that enticing. Of course not. I'm only interested in solving puzzles. I search for the gold only to prove my reasoning correct. Even if I found it, I wouldn't pocket it for myself. It's an atlas. Alright, well, I have to keep going. I want to see what's... Listen. Let's see. Let's see. We haven't even gone to midnight yet. You mustn't let our guards down. Can't imagine we'll last through tomorrow if we simply sit around here. So as I suspected, simply saying father's in a bad mood and refuses to come out won't be enough to deceive them completely. Now, Tisma, I propose we switch from the closed room barrier to something else. What do you mean by that? Are you suggesting we change our plan? That's correct. Virgilia and I will reconstruct a barrier similar to last year's. And we'll take Kinzo out of the study and have him tightrope walk from shadow to shadow where the toxic can't reach, just like last year. To think of it, that man who mentioned taking revenge for the events of 19 years ago might also be a piece of Lady Berncastell's. It's bored to treat equilibrium with 18 pieces, but now it has two undesired pieces added to it. There are too many irregularities this year. Lady Berncastel is a fan of Eastern things. In shogi or Japanese chess, aren't you allowed to drop pieces in during a game? Yes, that is possible. Even the act of dropping a queen from the captured pile in front of the eminent king is allowable trump card in shogi. I wonder what that man who had to claim to have a connection from 19 years ago is doing now. Is he already hiding somewhere on this island? A girl called Erica was able to appear by claiming to have drifted here. That man might also have landed somewhere on this island despite the typhoon, and he may be hiding somewhere now. And it's going to be hard to fully deceive the relatives any longer. Why? Why have so many irregular things happen at the same time? Could you explain this nightmarish miracle of coincidence? Lady Byrne Castell controls miracles. There's no point being surprised at irregularities or miracles when she's around. Oshogi is a game in which an enemy piece might suddenly appear in front of a king. For that very reason, we build up a perfect formation that won't allow for such a weakness, artistically constructing a castle around your king. In that case, isn't holding the fort here anyway? To think that I must escape a whole day and a half worth of moves. It's just too many. Don't stop thinking. Don't give up. I'll listen to your complaints, so don't have a fit. Your unshaking will to overcome this trial will bring you success with certainty. That's the power of the Witch of Certainty for you. You must not lose that magical power. Believe that you will overcome this no matter what. I'm sure you'll think of a brilliant plan. Therefore, you mustn't give up and you mustn't stop thinking. Hi, sorry to interrupt. I know I'm an outsider, but I want you to let me speak. Stop. Please restrain yourself for the time being. No, in this room there's no distinction between outsiders, guests, and the rest of us. You may speak. Thank you. Renov said it himself a while ago. This is mating shogi with you on the defensive. How do you lose in mating shogi? It's when your king is checkmated, right? That goes without saying. And the opponent has no king. Therefore, all Nazi can do is have her king run away constantly. I see. So you're thinking of that move. Has that time already come? What do you mean? Do you mean there's some sort of move remaining to us? It's what you proposed in the very beginning. Found how to hide Goldsmith's death. I'm trying to say the time's come for us to use that. Oh shit, are we gonna bring out the body and say he just died right now? Having him go missing. You mean to make that move right now during the family conference? That's too dangerous. You said it yourself. Then now is the time. If you can survive by being dragged through the dirt, then crawl with all your might. You'll inch your way through this world of suffering, and eventually you'll restore that glory. I, Garp, the 33rd in rank, promise you this. Garp. Okay. Okay, Sailor Moon reference. Okay, Sailor Moon reference. So that was your doing, after all. Give it back! Give back my illusionary silver crystal and moonstick! I still haven't played around by sticking them together yet! God fucking damn it, this game. So basically, are we trying to say that Beatrice actually is just a magical girl fan? This adds a lot. I can hide Goldsmith away in a world where no one will be able to find him. Let me know the instant you need that magic. Until then, feel free to think of another safe plan. Hello, Lambda Delta. I'm 34. I wonder if you might be a fan of Umineko. Anyway, I just found out that Beatrice is a fan of Sailor Moon. Now what? Gouge the foot and kill. And that completes it. I see. So that's really what gouge meant. Once again, my reasoning was correct. I'm a fan of both. Cute. You're incredible. If we really do find the gold, we'll have to split it together. Enjoying the intellectual stimulation is enough for me. The only thing I like is solving riddles. The only reward I need is proof that I was right. I see. Pretty cocky of you setting up a device like this. The mistake you all made was letting me on this island in the first place. Simply by the existence of the epitaph in the first place, in that place, this level of reasoning is possible for Furudo Erika. What do you think, everyone? If we find the gold now, the successor won't be Kraus-san, but you. Well, I wonder. Isn't Kraus-san kind of arrogant? You might even call him a braggart. Oh, it'll be pretty amusing to see him lose both the gold and his position as the successor to his nephew in the course of a single night, won't it? Jessica-san. Was her name right? The girl who talked back to me. Yeah. She really was acting big about her father being the successor. When she wakes up tomorrow and learns that you've inherited all the gold, and that her father's no longer the successor, I wonder what kind of expression she'll have on her face. I've got no intention of keeping that 20 billion to myself. Well, if I got even 10%, that'd be as much as I could handle. We could split the rest fairly amongst the family. I'm less interested in being a successor. I'd be glad to let Uncle Kraus deal with that. Will you really be able to settle things that easily in the end? Well, rather than trying to make guesses about that, I imagine it'll be more fun to guess at the expression Jessica-san wears tomorrow, and what kind of sad excuses she'll try to make. You really do have a nasty personality. Oh? Couldn't you reason that out from the time you learned that I liked solving riddles? I'm an intellectual Okay, I don't know if that's the word that maybe we should be using. Who enjoys exposing things people try to hide, get it? The same thing goes for solving the epitaph's riddle. I bet you wanted to expose the gold grandfather worked so hard to hide. Yes, that was my goal at first, but it changed partway through. I mean, Jessica-san, she butted into my reasoning, contaminating that pure and noble time. Ever since then, I've been trying to solve the epitaph so I could teach that Jessica a lesson. Are you serious? I'll make all opponents surrender, no matter who they are. That is my sole pleasure. Do you still need me to reason it out for you? Ushiromiya Jessica irritated me. That's why I wanted to put her in her place and decided to solve the epitaph. That's what led to the emotions I hold now. Can you reason out what those emotions are? Hang on. Oh shit! Oh shit! Well, this raises many questions. Like, does that mean he's not dead? Does that mean is he being projected through magic? Or is this part of the plan that Natsuhi and Garb came up with? Grandfather. Grandfather's probably been watching us solve this riddle this whole time. And he watched as we spectacularly solved the whole thing. Without a doubt, there was a faint smile on Grandfather's face. Grandfather, who had never worn anything except moody and frightening expressions, looked at me in the eye and smiled at me for the first time. Almost as though he was saying, "How impudent!" Or else, "I never thought it would be you." However, this is still the result that Grandfather's epitaph shows, so I'm sure he accepted that result. In the end, he grinned one more time. Of course, he didn't use words. His smile seemed to be wordlessly saying, "Well done." I didn't know how I should respond. I couldn't do anything but stand there in shock, ignoring Erica as she crouched down, mumbling with her back towards me. Then, Grandfather stretched a hand out from the folds of his cloak and pointed at something. When I looked in that direction, there was... the thing he was pointing at was probably the signpost to the Golden Land. Go. I'm sure Grandfather said that one word. I nodded to show that I understood. After watching that, Grandfather nodded back, satisfied. Then, with a spin of his cloak, he disappeared, seeming to melt into the darkness. The expression on his face at the end was a smile that, for the first time, truly satisfied. Are you listening, Battler-san? Did you hear my reasoning? I found it. That's the signpost to the Golden Land. Huh? Ah, it's facing a different direction than it used to. I see. So it means go that way. It's got some pretty good powers of observation. Grandfather told me about it. Huh? Ginzo-san? Where is he? I'm going. Let's have a look at what you're showing us. Just what is this Golden Land? We started to walk. The entrance to the Golden Land was right there. Whatever the fuck that means! So, my epitaph has finally been solved. And it was Battler who did it. Ha ha ha! Wonderful! Couldn't be better. When I think about it, I was also ahead that no one saw coming. How amusing that the one to succeed me is just as surprising. At least in this timeline. I have no more regrets in life. Beatrice, I'm coming to join you, along with a present, the miracle chosen by my epitaph. Battler of all people. That Battler. The very, very end of my life, I have seen a true miracle. Beatrice, I've won this bet. Interesting. Does that is that what this means? Is that what this is all about? Did he make a bet with Beatrice that if somebody solves it, and she's like, "Oh, nobody will be able to solve it," and he's like, "Well, what if someone does?" And that's why he's saying that Beatrice. That's why he's saying it. That's why Lambda Delta was like, "Oh, it has to be difficult, right?" Is that what she means? Let's see. There it is. Yahoo! Except for its non-corrosive properties, there's no practical way to turn gold into money. I imagine it'd take a lot of work to exchange all of this for cash. This is the Golden Land. There you go. Fern Butler magnificently discovered the gold. Congrats! I had her hide the more central parts of it, but what's wrong with being just a little mean, right? Sure, do that as much as you like. I'm not interested in the micro details about what kind of riddle it was or what kind of answer it had, although it would be kind of cool to find that out. The important thing is that as a result, 10 tons of gold was discovered. The gold was discovered in the third game as well by Aunt Ava. Aunt Rosa also witnessed it. However, the two of them hadn't spoken of the gold's discovery to anyone. In other words, there was a chance the gold's discovery was a catbox truth kept between the two of them. More specifically, it was possible the gold didn't exist and was just an illusion. That's true. However, I have finally found it. The catbox has been opened. It'd be a waste of time to do that repeated game, so I'll give you a little bonus. This mountain of gold is real. All of the ingots piled here are real, pure gold. There are absolutely no tricks such as replicas or fakes. Okay, got it. I'll accept that this gold exists. However, there's still some things I can't accept. Of course. You met with him, didn't you? With Kinzo. Even though Kinzo's supposedly an illusion, you met with him just a second ago, right? I guess that really was magic, wasn't it? Ridiculous. I didn't exchange any words with Grandfather. I only felt as though Grandfather and I had exchanged words. Give it a rest, the same move won't work again. In that case, your blue truth, if you please. I was probably in an excited state after solving the epitaph's riddle. Then I mistook something for Grandfather. For example, maybe there was some kind of sheet or cover that got caught in the dark grove of trees, which looks like Grandfather wearing a pitch black cloak. As a result, I mistakenly thought I'd had some sort of conversation with Grandfather. So truth valid? Well, I did say the exact same thing in blue. So, did it work? Where's your counter with the red truth? I have none. At least not now, okay? Now I keep thinking about how the the Steam icon for the Answers arc is like Battler, like, and what kind of looks like is almost like, Witch Battler, where he's like all fancy and stuff, so it's probably in this timeline maybe. Maybe the true storm to hit Rokkenjima isn't the typhoon, but her. She won't keep this discovery secret. She'll definitely announce it so she can brag about her success. Then she'll call a real storm down upon this island. I won't be able to keep this covered up. In that case, there's nothing to do but announce this fact fairly to all. Can't imagine what'll happen after that. Yeah, that looks like a scam to me. Okay. Should keep my phone on silent. As she grinned, Erika muttered to herself. She must have been anticipating the uproar that the relatives would soon bring about. For her, merely imagining that was far sweeter than 20 billion yen in gold. Simply by the existence of the epitaph in that place, this level of reasoning is possible for Furudo Erika. I need to learn how to do my I don't know how to pronounce it properly. Furudo. Furudo Erika. I don't know. What do you think, everyone? Yeah, and that sounds like a pretty damn good time to end it off, because that's yep, chapter ends. It's great. I'll maybe I'll continue more the rest of in a few hours, or maybe I'll just do it tomorrow. Who knows? But yay, Umineko was a fun game. And thanks everybody for showing up as usual. I'll see you next time.